Yeah, so my name's Chris Hunter. I invest in property with my brother as well, Anthony Hunter, and we have a company called Chant Properties. Yeah, originally from Scarborough. Was brought up here, went to school here. Yeah, so property-wise, I've honestly we've got it on a spreadsheet. It's like 20 plus now. It allows us. Yeah, basically what we do is it's basically a buy-to-let model. We've done this now together, me and brother, for 4 years. So we will buy property with other people's money, we then refurb them, refinance it, pull the money back out, and then investors basically get the money back at a return. We've been doing that for a while now. We do about one a month on the buy-to-let model. And what it allows me to do now basically is be financially free. I don't do anything other than work in the property. I kind of work my personal life around my property, so that's kind of what I do now. I suppose it did start about 10 years ago. I wanted to get into property, didn't know how to do that. I viewed a few, and then I was looking to meet Aaron. Aaron was really good. He sat down with me, he looked at what I had, I told him what I was after, and he says, no, it works. And as you do, people tend to go, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure, I shouldn't, even though he's told me to, and he pretty much put an ultimatum on it: if you don't do it, I will buy it. I was like, okay, so I was like, okay, I'll buy it then, and end up buying it. Realised the first one's always the scariest, and then realised actually everything he told me was right. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started really, and then bought a few myself, and then me and brother started 4 years ago together. So my brother saw what I was doing, was like, I want to get involved in this as well. So then we then got together 4 years ago, created Chant, and went from there really. Aaron was that confident boost that I think people overcomplicate property. That's one thing I know about the Insight Group. It's very simple. It's very simple in what you do. I think people overcomplicate things. There's a lot of strategies out there, and people really go off and complicate things. So he was just the fact that when you sit down with the facts and you go, actually, it's not as scary as it sounds. The numbers stack up, and it works. And that's kind of when you get over that, and then actually start physically doing it and seeing the proofs in what you do within what you said. Absolutely, yeah. It just kept going. It's snowball effect, really. If they've got absolutely nothing and they've never done it, I think education's massively key. You need to learn about property, whether it's books, seminars, whatever, webinars are everywhere now. It's fantastic. You need to learn about property. There's a lot of regulation. Property's not like it used to be. So yeah, I would say education is key. There's people like Aaron's books, but there's obviously other people out there as well. But what I love about Aaron is Aaron's book is really very, it's simple, and I think that's the thing. People go into property and see all these fancy strategies and fancy different things, and the panic, the sort of almost, it's shiny penny syndrome. So I would say education is massively key. Know what your outcome needs to be. Have the end in mind, so to speak. Well, I think they need to speak to someone really. They need to speak to someone, like ourselves, like Aaron, people who are experiencing the property game. I would say people who are potentially doing it full time are passive, and then sort of sit with these people and say, right, what's the next steps? Have you got the income you desire? Is your portfolio actually doing what it says? But a lot of people buy properties, like I did early days. I bought properties, and then the regulations, you just think, are you up to regulation? Are you up to spec? So actually get someone to review your portfolio and think, right, what is the next step? Am I earning what I need to earn? Am I earning what I want to earn? And then also, if it's part of a lot of these properties, a lot of times for pension, what is your end game? What is your end goal for property? And then people like Aaron, like myself, people out there. Aaron's got a really good portfolio of reviewers, which is good at the Insight Group, and yeah, they can review the portfolio and then sort of set you on your journey where you want to go. So yeah.